think the title and everything is good. We just need to edit our commands and get everything started today. All right. So give me just a second. Because I've got a few different things I gotta set up here. Trying to go through all my DMs and get all of my multis ready, and then I'll end it with the mission command. And we should be good. And I'm just working on getting everything sorted. Okay. Let me go ahead and get the prediction up. Set it for 15 minutes. I'm spamming Dream right now because he's playing on the ground, but all right. Hugh City, looks like there is a blue 4 and a green 4, so I'd imagine it's two tied. So for the sake of the prediction, blue 4 is going to include blue 4 and green 4, and then op 4 are the outside forces coming in. I'm all right, Patches. I've been... You know, no, I haven't even been that busy this morning. I finished the garrison work on... Whoop. I don't know what the please wait means. Oh. So Banks messaged me saying there was some new camera work for this operation. Okay. I see what he's going for. So he's created a bunch of panning shots of the scenario. And this is going to be my cut to then do the intro. That is cool. All right. No, these are some good shots here with everything. All right. I'm going to work with it, guys. Banks, shout out to you, buddy. Thanks for making this work. This is actually kick-ass. I love it. All right. So this is going to be our play on Houston. Oh, my God. I love it. Yes. Oh, I absolutely love this. Is a nice soft update to the camera framework, too, and it shows... I love it. Holy crap, that was great. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Banks for that one. All right, so our tasks here. Blue 4 has a sector they're defending. Op 4 have multiple sectors they're trying to capture, and Green 4 doesn't give me anything specific. If I were to take a look on the map, it looks like these sectors are marked here. Sector 1, Sector 2, part of the city itself, and Sector 3 is the MacV compound. All right, Op 4 trying to capture all three. Blue 4 and Green 4 trying to defend both. Blue 4, their loadouts here. The bank edit from Maz, the aviation kits from 1970 MacV. So we've got the M16A1, we've got the M2 carbine with the 30-round mag. We've got M72 Laws. We got 203s. It's not the 203, it's the XM148 for the M16, the prototype first-gen grenade launcher. You got some Mark 14s and grease guns as well, and they have an Iroquois Slick with 2 side guns, which only have 178 rounds on either side, so it's very limited for those door guns. Interesting. Loadout for Op 4 otherwise being the PAVM Viet Con. We got AKs, technically Type 56 variety, SKSs, KA-50s with those, submachine guns. B-41 RPGs, SKSs with the rifle grenade launcher sight on the front, and then Maz 47 56s. Basically the French battle rifle. Green 4, their loadouts as ARVN, gonna pretty much mirror what the Blue 4 guys have, but they also have M60s in play as well. But that was cool. Let me actually poke him right now. And just reply that was... Yeah, no, that was great. Banks totally deserves that, but he's got, oh my gosh, we even have camera frames on everything here. So, with all those units said, though, do we have anything written on briefing? All right, mission details here. 1,000 meters for render distance. Build up, fortified points are going to be 100 for the defending faction, Blue 4 and Green 4. The color is going to be green because it's, Vietnam, and then 15 minutes for the round itself. Fun fact, I talked with Kiri, and in the works is a feature which I've brought up a few times in the past of I wish they had. But basically, if both sides are ready early on, they can do a little scroll wheel option to just state that they're ready early on, and then they can actually start the round early instead of having to wait the full 15 minutes. So that's really nice. But otherwise, Blue 4 Hotel have a special task where they must extract 3 AI crewmen from a compound in the west of the city and take them to a landing zone marked on the map at Pleiku Air Base. This task is inconsequential in the results of the mission and has been added purely as a tribute to C.W.O. Ferguson. See background. To complete the task, the Huey must land at the compound where the crewmen are situated. After finding the crewmen, you will be able to perform a load crew scroll wheel action on them, at which point they should automatically board the helicopter. Once they are on board, fly to the green zone landing zone and perform a landing within it. There is where the crewmen should automatically disembark and mark the task complete. If any of these steps do not automatically happen, relying on AI arm after all, contact staff who will force them manually. Note that safe start period is extended by 3 minutes to add some peril should you choose to go straight for the task. Background. All right, here we go. January 31st, 1968, Huey, South Vietnam. As part of the Tet Offensive, a campaign of surprise attacks on military and civilian command centers across South Vietnam, PAVN and VC forces opt for launch an attack on both the Citadel, a walled-in portion of the city lying on the north bank of the Perfume River, and the new city on the south side, including a MacV compound where military advisors Blue 4 are based. With the majority of defensive forces either on leave for the Lunar New Year festival of Tet or deployed outside of the city itself, both the Citadel and the new city fall within a day of a bloody and brutal month-long battle for Hugh begins. After the fall of both sections of the city, Chief Warrant Officer Frederick Ferguson, a UH-1 Slick helicopter pilot, answered a distress call from a U.S. Army helicopter crew who had been shot down by enemy occupying the city and who had taken refuge, heavily injured, in a small compound with a group of ARVN soldiers. Under a devastating barrage of AA, MG, and mortar fire, and unsighted by thick clouds of dust, Chief Warrant Officer Ferguson managed to land his Huey directly between a flagpole and a building with only 2 feet on either side of his rotor blades and extracted the U.S. crewman successfully. For his actions that day, Ferguson was awarded the Medal of Honor on the 17th of May, 1969. ARVN forces, Green 4, managed to retreat to the fortified compound within the Citadel, and the MAC-V advisors grab whatever weapons they can to mount a defense against the on-rushing enemy. For gameplay and terrain reasons, the assault on the Citadel is not represented in this mission, and the concepts of the ARVN infantry retreating to the compound and the small group of ARVN forces present with the downed Huey crew have been merged and moved to the west. Chief Warrant Officer Ferguson's heroics are represented in the mission, see notes, although the timeline has been moved forward to during the initial assault rather than after it. Kind regards, Banks. So good work on Banks there. This feels a bit personal to him for putting all this extra work in, so I appreciate that. Mission rules: Blue 4 Hotel must attempt to complete their task, whatever the risk, but can do so at any point in the mission, before mission ends, and after state start ends. So basically, during the mission, they have to do that. Otherwise, we've got our Op 4 forces here. Let's list out who we have on this side. Fawn's commanding Op 4, Mike going to be his medic, Curie leading Alpha with T, Olaf, Zoni, Lolo, Snajapair, Korvac, Macmarine, Waldo, and Sam. Alpha 1 also has Goose leading Toger, Charlotte, Rodrigue, and Alexander. Charlotte is also on the multi, by the way. Nemesis leading Bravo with Katz, Dobbs, Finn, Dream, Hampton. Dream is also on the multi, by the way. Malin, Cullis, Flying, Yanni Finn, Ungrim, and Rookie. Killer J and Oddball being in Delta 1, and then Victor Charlie, which I've never seen that designation before. I'm assuming they just renamed Charlie, has Vagrant leading Tomer and Omri as submachine gunners. Eric leading Green 4 with DJVN, Dardis, Professional Noob, Miss Bear, and Devios under Charlie. Charlie 2 has Robinino, Swede, Lurch, and Patriot. Delta has Ash and Tackleberry, and Delta 1 has Gazog in it. Scrolling up to Blue 4, NASA leading Alpha with Sablon and Norris. Bates, Inara, Harrington, and Iqbal under Alpha 1. Alpha 2 has Lolo leading Skipu, Depso, and Kremet. Hotel 1 has Hirana and Banks. Hirana also on the multi, so if you want to see the multi with Hotel doing that special objective, feel free to go onto the multi there. And then you have the AI group, which I'm not sure if these are their actual names of the crew tied to this area, but we'll see what they end up doing. Regardless, that is it. We got Op Force main spawn point right here. However, they have a secondary zone coming in from the east as well. Green 4 spawn zone marked right here. They've already brought Op Forces down to Sector 1, though. And then you got Blue 4 at the MAC-V base over here. Sector 1, we've got tucked away. I think Sector 1's taking us back to where Green 4 is. Sector 1's supposed to be this region over here itself, but that is fine. Sector 2 does take us to Sector 2, which is the buildings in the middle of Hughes City. 1 second. Oh my god. Sorry, when I need to sneeze, I'm going to stop everything just to put my headset off because it's really hard to commentate and have that urge to sneeze at the same time. But I'd imagine this is the downed helicopter that crew is a part of. But otherwise, Sector 2 mainly staying open because neither side can get to it at the moment. And then Sector 3 has the MAC-V base inside of it. They are staying within the position at this time. But thank you. Ooh, all right, and then you've got, the crew over here, and then the Huey crew that's going to be rescuing the crew during this mission. How many bad frags do we expect? Honestly, I don't know, but I didn't even notice we got the Pleiku Air Base out here with the landing zone for the helicopter to come pick them up. So that's why they're not given that much ammo either, is so that they can focus on doing their objective, and then maybe they'll get a rearm to then come in and do those objectives. But anyway, let me go ahead. 3/15/23. And this is FNF. So for any highlights and bad frags and funnies that happen, I'll have them timestamps. Someone asks, where are the SOG guys? So Egg Beast, aka Rob, he's traveling to the States because he's actually a British guy. So he is unavailable. And I don't know where Dawn is, but usually Dawn, they're a package deal. And sometimes there's stuff that goes on in the official SOG Discord for Fridays anyway. So I am just resorting to solo shoutcasting this one.
I'm gonna fly so far.
Otherwise, we see some of these chucklehead.
I still
Ah, yes, the telltale MAC-V SOG strategy of being able to fly away if they see the PAVN. That'll probably suit them very, very well here. But nonetheless, we got another 4 minutes before the round officially begins. Op 4 command is Fawns. Blue 4 command is technically Eric, and he also has jurisdiction over the Blue 4 players. All right, a few small notes to note. Next weekend, I swear we will be doing the freaking pay for pain. I was going over everything I still have to do. The only thing I still have left to do for this weekend is officially set up tomorrow's MCO event server, which is going to only take me up to 20 minutes max because I've set up Havoc hosting servers so many times and I have a checklist for what I need to do. But the main thing is going to be Sunday, Metro's final mission file with the underground compound. I'll be streaming some of that tonight. We also have DayZ tonight. I'm going to take a break after round 3, eat a bit of dinner, and then come back. We're going to get right into DayZ. 1 second. I'm also sipping on a bit of coffee, but from there, we'll be front logging next week's missions, working on Pay for Pain. But there's 2 other critical things that I am currently working on. And then a third thing, which I have a recording of Nemesis confirming it in passing, but here they are, rapid fire. Number 1, the new project of putting up a donation goal and then setting up tiers for if certain parts of those D goals are funded, we basically get more ops. So this will basically be for more, if you want to see more Hellfire being silly, if you want to see small-scale Warhammer 40k, but with every single detail we can put in, and then if you potentially want to see more TOC ops, which is another 40k community. So basically, for those of you that keep asking for 40k ops, this is a way for you guys to fund them. Because the quality we have to put into them, because we make everything custom, I want to have Valkyrie also, you know, get paid a bit for that work too, because she and we put hours upon hours in the week. Safe zone drops. Oh, yeah, they're giving another 3 minutes because we read that earlier in the brief. So it's another 5 minutes from now. So that'll be a way for you guys to fund it. Second thing we're working on is going to be the pay for pain itself, getting that in the campaign and whatnot. But side announcements. So the third thing, and there's also a fourth thing too. So third thing is I have a recording of Nemesis saying that he is going to eventually request me to make a 12-hour mission for Vietnam stuff. So an official SOG Prairie Fire 12-hour event, and he wants to make it pay for pain. So I have no idea how that will be frameworked. Once it's official, I will make the framework for it. But that is going to be, I think, the craziest thing I've ever done. The real trick is going to be finding an area that can balance a 12-hour operation, but I think doing a 12-hour sit-down of an op would be nuts. But we'll have to see what we can do with that. But it would definitely be brutal. Nonetheless, we have that in the work. And then another announcement is just so I can foreshadow some stuff. We've been doing work with Karma Cut's KOG community every Saturday when we can. The timeline is we've got one op this weekend. I got it submitted the other day. It's going to be a really cool trench warfare op, you know, Ukraine themed. Then we've got one more for next week. They want something similar to Hosmedel Airport. I butchered the name of that. Hosmedel? Something. I've got the AO picked out. Hostomel, that's it. Got the AO picked out. I'm ready to fortify everything around it. I'm not sure if it's going to be a defense or an offensive operation. I need to ask them for clarification on that because there's multiple ways we could do it. But after that, they're going to do Killcog. I'm not 100% sure I'll be streaming it because of 2 reasons. One, that third week I'm going to have people over, and I'm not sure I'm going to even be able to do that much streaming for, like, the week they're around. And number 2, last one got DDoS to shit, which is why I wasn't even able to stream it, and we ended up doing the PvE version of it. So this one, you know, same thing might happen, don't know. But then after that, I am going to... sorry, my mother's... Why is my mother calling? 1 second. Hey, I'm in the middle of a stream. Are you okay? Yep. No, all good. We'll have lunch next week. I'm so sorry. I haven't been meaning to neglect. It's just been a really busy week. All right. Love you too, Ma. I'll see you later. I've been incredibly busy this week, and I usually will set up lunch with my mother once every, like, 1 to 3 weeks, so I I haven't given her a lot of time, and she's a little... She misses me. So I see the units are moving out and safe zones were dropped, but I think they're supposed to have another minute or two, so I guess the scripts that had the safe zones tied together fell, so we see units already deploying, most of them coming from the eastern side, but a small strike team coming from the south. So we'll see how that evolves. But yeah, so in April, the Friday, I'm going to potentially... Here are the changes that are going to potentially happen. What is guaranteed to happen is I've got something to now do at 10 o'clock, which is going to be... I'm really excited for. If anyone knows the work I did with Pog to make like a paid PMC style, everyone gets an individual pay cut and you can manage your own inventory. There was a time in TSB 2 years ago where Makarov did a few ops. I was never able to join them though because they never fell on my schedule. And then I also have attempted to do something like that where, you know, players get individual payouts and they manage their kits accordingly. Not only did I have a community reach out and ask me if they wanted to join it, but they're going to extend the invite to anyone else through me that wants to come and join them after I start streaming with them. So that's something to advertise. And the whole reason they've reached out for me and they, you know, have me on as a consultant at that point is for a campaign like that, but for anyone to join us. So another, yeah, because Safe Zone's officially dropped now, but yeah, I think there was a bit of a false start there, but regardless. We'll see where that goes. It's just there's a time constraint. So what I'm going to be, what I already talked with Moose Skull, who's, you know, Karma's underling, his 2IC, I like to say, is potentially moving stuff I do to some Fridays because they also have a Friday slot. So I don't want to drop COG completely, but there's definitely going to be a bit of a reduced amount of work. We might go from weekly to bi-weekly instead. But again, I've made a lot of good friends in COG, and I want to keep working for them. It's just, you know, might not become an every week thing because, you know, I do like the urban warfare stuff we're doing as well. But as you may have heard recently, I do have gripes with it because, one second. It's gone from me doing, like, spending an hour making a COG mission. Someone just got sniped. The RTO got sniped. That's funny as hell. That was Goose. But it's gone from, you know, 1 hour a week dev to like a 5 hour a week dev, and that's very difficult. Yeah, I'm not sure we'll ever have the numbers again to properly do T0 ops, though. Because that was when we were running, you know, 40 to 50 people. And I just don't think we have the manpower for that anymore. And that's mainly tied to YouTube being YouTube, because that's the main source of player counts. But, again, that might be something I address in the future. But, again, my goal this year is to really just work on my own operations and work on more contract-based work. So I can... Again, I've been really trying to wean myself off of YouTube and Twitch because of how unreliable they can be. And based off of where my life is going, I need a bit more stability in my life anyway. Because, you know, Bloodway and I, the marriage is going to be probably around 2025. She's finished her master's, so she's taking a few months off. Then we're going to start planning it in around May. Ooh, someone else just got sniped. But, you know, from the marriage, then it's going to be, you know, thinking about kids after a year. And regardless, I'm not really ever going to have a moment to breathe at this point. And yeah, that's another thing. The COG work is free. That one's out of my own pocket. I'm going to set a new baseline with him about it. And then if he wants me to do more, I might ask for a little bit of payment. And I'm going to be honest, another reason that I'm, you know, moving the COG slot off is because they offered to pay me for my time for covering the contracting work. That's going to replace the COG stuff. So, you know, say la vie. What's my main job? This is my main job, Surrect. And I don't mean to make it sound like I'm hurting for money. I'm not. It's just I'm trying to wean myself off of how unstable YouTube and Twitch can be. for something more concrete, which is commission-based work. Then, you know, I can have things paid months in advance and whatnot. So it's more of a personal thing. But enough of that. Let's actually start covering the round here. So we've got another squad going on the southern side of the eastern push here. We've got this 3-man strike team coming all the way around. We'll see what they do. And then we got another squad kind of towards the south on the rear. But right now, we basically have a direct fight between the MAC-V guys and the PAVN forces moving in. Networking, I can't do a small wedding. She's Greek. And every cliche you see in My Big Fat Greek Wedding is 100% true, and even she admits it. Happily, mind you. So there's no way in hell I can do a small wedding. I could do a small wedding, because my family is small. Her family is Greek. Her father is tied to the Greek embassy. Not the ambassador, he works under the ambassador. There's no small wedding there. So, guys, when I make those jokes where if I piss Bloodwing off, I'll end up touring the states just in 5 different garbage bags at the same time, it's serious. Rip wallet. Yeah, exactly. Alright. We got Kiri coming in with a Type 56 AK. And I think Kiri gave himself away as Kremet was doing a little ass wagging there. Blink twice. There's no cameras, Steve. You would never know. But, I mean, Op 4, they're still making a pretty decent push here. Kiri woke up. Turns away at the worst possible second. Gets double tapped by Kremet. But Blue 4's line is kind of falling apart here. We do see some marksman fire and some long-range shots coming up to this squad over here. The dog drag, yeah, right? You guys know she can read chat, right? But nonetheless, this squad on the south is getting engaged. They've got another group joining them. Looks like the VIPs were picked up by the Huey. And they are flying away now, so we'll see that Huey come back in 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, right, just hide the chat. We'll be fine. But nonetheless, I'm also really excited for next week because my schedule finally balances off. Because the only 2 major things I have left to do this week is Metro's mission and taxes. Mainly finalizing all my deductions and whatnot. And then the only major thing I have next week, there's no massive training file to remake. There's no giant underground complex. There's no taxes. There's no build-ups of other mission files. Nope, it's just working on the pay for pain purely. So I can have that done by Wednesday if I really push myself, so. Whew. Alright, so we've got Kremet here. He's firing GLs into this compound. He just knocked Zoni out. He also has that 1 kill. We have grenades being thrown in. Kremet notices that grenade. Takes a little bit of shrapnel damage, but otherwise is fine. Lolo now running up as the second grenade goes off. Tries to catch Kremet as he reloads. Oh my god. You know, it's situations like that that would make me rage quit this game. Because it's just whoever the server decides wins, because both people are putting shots on target. Hell, after the reload, I would have just cooked a grenade and ran. And if I managed to get out the doorway in time, then I'd throw it behind me. Because otherwise, there's no winning that fight. Well, that dude just got headshotted. Seismo gets blown up by a grenade, either by Inara or some chucklehead accidentally bounced it down. But this attack wave definitely slowing down. You got some Op 4 coming up from the south to reinforce. We've got 1 element of Charlie 1 here for Green 4 Wiki. He's gotten 2 kills. However, the rest of the PAVN force knows he's up here. We've got grenades being blindly thrown. Will it bounce off the tree? Nope. Ricochet's back. Wiki gets a 3rd kill on Whiteside. One-man defensive war here. The winner is Kermit or Kremit or whatever his name is. Oddball getting some eyes on. You gotta remember, if you were watching OFCRA yesterday, Oddball was the crazy pilot that literally shot down not only a plane, but destroyed like 5 or 6 Bren carriers in the frickin' 90v90 mission the other day. These guys under heavy GL fire, they're trying to take Inara out. And Inara is basically fighting through the doorway here, replying with GLs in kind, but they keep getting caught early on the building. So they're trying to suppress and move. That grenade did really well, but then we got friendlies coming in. And Inara gets pushed by a K-50 with those drum mags, man. They can do a lot of damage. However, that group still thinks they're being engaged. Alexander runs up and finally knocks Kremit out with the power of a Type 56. I mean, Kremit, he got shot so many times that he had to be pretty much out for that mission. MacMarine now taking fire. But again, red on red, and that helicopter is back. VIPs are safe. But again, that was just a little bonus objective to commemorate Mr. Ferguson, who got a Medal of Honor for his actions in the actual Battle of Hue City, or Hue. Looking back up here, I'd imagine they eventually got the Green 4 guy up here. Oddball got that kill. We saw it. My bad. But otherwise, I mean, the numbers we have of Blue 4 and Green 4 compared to Op 4, Op 4 definitely has the number advantage at the moment. I think doing an MCO outside of, like, the actual Hue City here would be nice. It's just there's no way for me to really get the AI to come Pathfind in. That's what's always difficult with defensive objectives, but we can figure something out. One of our issues with... Actually, I'll talk about next round. Toger gets taken out from some flanking fire. Smoke grenade went out. I'm assuming that was NASA. NASA's, I think, up to 2 kills by now. Yep. Because he's in these little, the pillbox up there, just engaging what he can. Depso doing some double taps. Yeah, no, this was the city where we were doing a Zeus op and trying to keep forces from there. But that wasn't a 12-hour op. That was something else. But now we've got the M60s firing from the chopper, and that could help slow down some of Op 4's advances. Honestly, what I think is going to happen at this point is Op 4 is eventually going to get into the MAC-V compound unless Green 4 and the remaining Blue 4 here are able to inflict some heavy casualties. That is a possibility. This 3-man team's going to hit the rear of Sector 1 and take it. This team's eventually going to climb up to Sector 2 and take it, and then you'll have a second wave come into Sector 3 up here. And we just have a lot of Blue 4 and Green 4 kind of out of position, trying to inflict attrition damage on Op 4, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. But what we need to see right now is this team come in, because otherwise Green 4 is going to fold into Sector 1 and make that even more difficult, and force this group to go over and hit it, slowing down the push into here, because this, I think, is the closest fight. Specifically, one that Op 4 could actually lose. So they're relying on this second wave to come in, but since all sides seem to be dragging their feet, and this fight has the group closest to the sector, explosives going off, only to run into more defensive positions here. Yeah, now they're forced to then go up this little hill. No, there's a little break right here. So can Alexander get the kill on Depso? I think he hears the footsteps, so he throws a grenade over. It's a smoke, though. So I'm not sure if they see the objects flowing around. I don't know why Alexander just went in front of Waldo's firing line there. Unsure if he got a kill. That was some really delayed hesitation. I think Depso's dead here if Waldo can... There it is. But Depso should have been dead to rights by that corner. I don't know if it was Roderick that fired from the side, but that was a needless death. But Depso hasn't been double tapped. Oh, no. Depso wasn't double tapped. So I just feel like Op4 is not going to be able to take Sector 1 with their current force. You got the 3 back here just cautiously coming around. And then these forces attempting to come in, but they get picked off. We still have time. I mean, this has only been in the first 25 minutes. But when you have assault missions like these where all 3 sectors are about to be pressured at once, it's really just up to the attackers to be the appropriate aggressors to move into the sector. Sablon getting hit by a grenade. Lucky for Waldo there. Depso, I don't see him anymore. See a bit of blood right here. I don't know where he was double tapped. Looks like he tried to jump Waldo, but was taken out. You got Norris trying to come around here. But with 4 blue 4 defenders. But with 3 blue 4 defenders. Where will you be when I caster curse you? Satchel goes off over here, but these guys were behind a wall, so it was ineffective. And then they've got a 4-man Green Fort garrison outside of the sector as well, trying to hold an overwatch point. Allen, I think, just got smacked by the M60 gun. And then we've got a line of 3 reinforcements trying to come up to assist in that sector. So I think Green Fort should theoretically have this scenario down. It's going to be a 3-on-3 over at Sector 1. You got to remember, the defenders only have to win 1 of these 3 fights, though. That's the toughest part. And I think we just had Norris get picked off. But Green Fort, I can't believe I'm seeing this. We're actually seeing an Overwatch position breaking down and entering the sector. That's really rare to see them properly do. We had a ghost appear. He's gone. Sablon woke up from that grenade, and that's going to reinforce this area. But the question is, where are they going? They're bypassing... Where are they going? Sector 2 and Sector 3 are also being taken right now, showing that they don't have the number advantage to hold the sectors here. So, Sector 1 is the only one that needs 3 people to enter, and they'll win by default. So, I think it's GG. We just saw the 2 Blue 4 guys get taken out. So, Sector 1 being taken, 2's about to be taken, 3 has a number advantage inside. I think it's game over. Green 4 could potentially stop Sector 1 from being taken. We're just having minor incursions going on right now. So it's GG to Op4. What the hell are these 4 doing? They literally ran... Why not just go straight to the sector then? Why are they doing this? That's just cost the game. Unless we see Swede start killing people here. Well, never mind. Flying Finn killed him. Caster Curse, yay! It's over. There's Sector 2. Sector 3 going down in about 10 seconds. And Sector 1 being taken right now could tie out, actually. We need to see Gazag enter the sector. That'll stop the timer because it'll be 3-3. Yep, that stalled it out. I don't see movement anymore. And one of these chucklehead just accidentally shot and gave their position away. So, desperation on green 4 there, stopping the sector from being stolen. You just had a crossfire hit right there, and people exchange. Piranha just tried to run up and do a melee. And now this just got more interesting. Op4 is going to be forced to regroup. Lurch being the final green 4 guy getting picked off in the sector. This is going to give green 4 some time to reinforce. 2 guys that were down, woken back up. And what are you doing? What are you doing? How do you misconstrue the dude that's literally wearing what you're wearing? And you get knocked out by a grenade. I get the heat of the moment, but have a brain. Sir, he's literally wearing what you're wearing. But that's that. Op4 have to basically regroup their force and push in. They still have the number advantage, but this is giving green 4 the ability to regroup right here. Gazog now getting itchy trigger finger syndrome there. But he does have an M60, which is quite nice. So, I'm assuming this Huey is now out of ammo. Real beat up that one is.
All right, we have cleared Sector 1. We're currently repositioning ourselves for an assault coming from the east northeast.
All right.
If anyone finds a dead body, let me know. I need a better weapon than this.
There's a few dead bodies to choose from up there. Definitely, yeah, any choice would be better than that poor grease gun. All right.
Hey guys, let's get to the.
So Op4 trickling some forces in, but otherwise a majority of them are just holding around. Finn, I think, fell down from the rooftop.
No, you're gonna just hold on.
Holy shit, heal yourself.
And now we're starting to see the teams from the MacV compound fold in as well. So here's the thing. If Op4 only trickles their forces in, we could still see Green 4 defeat Op4 in detail. So I wouldn't say Op4 has won off the bat. And that's because we don't see any leadership from Op4 still alive. It's really just a bunch of... Yeah, like, I don't even... Ground Command is alive, but the squad leaders are not, so he's unable to give people orders. Nemesis is alive to receive them, and he's part of the biggest group, but every other element is down. So we could still see Op4 trickle in, defeat themselves in detail, and Green 4 pretty much lose the fight. Or win the fight, excuse me, God. Either way, it's hard to say where this one will go. On paper, on viewing, if Op4 were to just rally their forces and push everything with everything they had at the same time, I think it would be a slam dunk. But if Op4 trickles forces in, one of two things can happen. Either this 3-man team gets annihilated, or this 3-man team comes in and somehow wipes half of Green 4 and just softens them up even more to the rest of Op4 to come in. We're not going to know until they actually start shooting. The only other tell I can give is, you know, Scandi Recon has a big presence here, and they've got, you know, a good track record. But beyond that, I don't know what to tell you. Blue 4 and Green 4 are allied in this one. So Green 4, they're the ARVN, which is the Southern Vietnamese military, and Blue 4 are the U.S. MACV advisors, as well as a helicopter crew. And the helicopter crew landed. One of them got picked off, and the other one survived. Now, the only other special scripted circumstance is I don't think, in terms of defense, Banks' unit counts as a potential defender of this sector. What that means is, let's say, for the sake of argument, Green 4 has 4 guys in this sector and 1 Blue 4 guy. It's only going to count the 4 Green 4 guys as defending it. So if 5 Op 4 guys come into the sector, even though there's 4 Blue 4, or 4 Green 4 and 1 Blue 4, the 5 Op 4 guys would start counting the timer down. Even though there's technically 5 enemies in the sector, 2 Op 4, only 4 of them count for the sector itself. But I don't think that's really going to matter. The 3 guys ran all the way down here. You got the first group now trickling in from the north. This group's kind of held in the center. We could see a 2-pronged attack wave, though, and then you got Malin on the outskirts over here. But now you're starting to see some long-range fire. And a marksman pickoff. Literally making that ARVN's head spin. Early pickoffs are going to be brutal for Green 4 here in their limited personnel, so fine shooting. That was either Seismo or Fonz. I mean, damn, Seismo's on 5 kills, and he's got a scoped M16. So he definitely looted that. I'd imagine he was the one that got the kill, though. Because the other 2 don't even have a kill yet, so good shooting there. Oh, it's fine, BB. I'm always happy to help you guys out and see. After all, I wouldn't be able to do this if you guys weren't here, so I want to make sure you guys know what's going on to the best of my ability. And Patriot looks like he's trying to find a position that could potentially help him overwatch any enemy forces coming in. Not a bad idea, but he's kind of he's gonna be hurting for sight lines here. Because everything that he could fire from is very, very open, so that only gives him an opportunity to throw a few grenades or get a few shots out before people turn their heads and start engaging him. And he's got no cover to work with because this is all open. He's kind of SOL. So that 3-man Op 4 group came in. One of them just got picked off, though. No, that 3-man group's all the way down there. This is part of the Scandia Recon Force. When we heard a guy scream, there's his body. So he was immediately taken out. Trying to see who that was. That was SL Dream. Ah, buddy. He might join me for commentating round 2 and 3, but we'll see. More shooting coming in. You got these 3 now suppressing from the side, hitting these various random positions. You got GL fire even coming in as well. Yeah, it's pretty close. It's getting some not some knockouts, but it's getting some injuries here. So Op 4 attacking from 2 directions right now. Could open a third from the north. This is the type of unified attack Op 4 wants. Funny enough, though, we got Patriot at an angle trying to shoot at the southern group. And he's found a sloped area, so he's not getting immediately engaged from the north. But Green 4 in a bit of a pickle. One fallacy Op 4 could still fall for, though, is keeping way too many people on the Overwatch elements and not committing anyone to the sector. However, they still have 21 minutes to work with this, and that gives them plenty of time to keep softening up and getting more pickoffs. But eventually, Op 4 is going to have to start trickling forces into the sector. And if they only do a handful at a time, they could very well get defeated in detail. That was a beautiful GL from Flying Finn there, knocking Gazag out. I think he's going to get back up, but taking out one of the M60 gunners early on would be a very big boon in this AO. He does wake back up, though. Patriot trying to spot Olaf and pick him off as he runs by. We see some more shots coming in as this first assault begins their attack here. And a blue on green incident. And MacMarine is running around trying to figure out where Patriot is. But now Patriot's taking fire. Sees MacMarine, and Mac gets the kill. Funny enough, both of them were using the same exact gun. He does some double tapping just to be safe. Flying Legend just got another update. JU52's back. Nice. Someone remind me to give a quick mini rant about Flying Legend. It's a good one, though, but mainly about Sav's work. DJ gets another pick off on Op 4 as they come in. POV double tap uses 20 rounds. Hey, you gotta make sure. Numbers-wise, I'd say the defenders are outnumbered 2-1 at this point. It's looking really, really good for them, but if we continue to see Blue 4 and Green 4 get pickoffs from certain angles... Finn goes up, gets some shots. Banks somehow gets that kill. He had no right to get it, but it worked out for him. Oh my god, and Banks gets picked off by Seismo from range with that scoped M16. There are only 2 dudes left. Banks is going to get double tapped, and Professional Noob is playing chicken with Flying Finn. There's that one kill. Banks got double tapped. I don't think we got a notification for Blue 4 being eliminated because of the AI, and there's a double tap, and it's GG. So, really good call for Op4 by turning that into a unified attack. I didn't think they'd have the comms to do it, but whether it be luck or somehow Ground Command was able to rally them, good calls either way. Good calls either way. All right. Let's go ahead and get that paid out. I think that was a great opening round for FNF today.
Hello, honey. Or father, or whatever. I've forgotten. It's been so long. It's been so long. I missed you.
You know, Dream, I'm actually 50-50 right now about doing co-casting today.
Oh my god, he hates me.
I know.
He hates me so much, guys.
It's just, I've been talking about a lot of other personal projects too, and I don't want to constantly able to talk over you, but if you got something to bring to the table today, then by all means. I'll leave it to my chat. All right, chat, do you want Dream to join us for a round? Huh?
Oh yeah, chat's fine. Yeah. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind. Literally, I was prepared to play all day today.
Okay.
So, chat, do you want me?
All right. Most people are saying yes, so let's go ahead and get that set up. I'm gonna get my plugin disabled.
You can talk about.
Huh?
You can talk about thingy if you want to.
Oh, I mean, I am. It's just again, I was just warning you about that. Just to make sure we're on the same page. Make sure you disable your TFAR plugin then.
Yeah, I have it now. It's so cool.
Oh, this is going to be on the bra.
I need to see if I can pester Ilwinek to make it so we can hear each other in game still, but also hear the voices. Well, I don't know if that actually works, but I can't imagine it does.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is round 2. I'm just getting my commands updated now. Blue 4 attacking. And it's mostly just transports here. All right. Attacking with a 6% numbers advantage and Op4 defends. What is Op4 defending here specifically? 5 ammo caches. All right. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, I did promise a rant to my chat. Basically, there are a lot of people that work on a lot of niche things for Arma 3 that a lot of people take for granted. And I was going to rant about Sab because Sab makes some really, really cool stuff. He's in that department, or at least that sphere, with the sense of if you need any obscure plane, he has a mod for it, both for World War II and even some modern day stuff. And it only recently came to my attention because I needed a very specific plane for the Siege of Jadotville. And I'm like, there's no way in hell Arma's going to have it. And within a few hours of digging and asking people to look around, we found a pack of planes that were used in Cold War era. And the dev was Sab. Sab is the same dev that has released Flying Legends and Naval Legends that contain all of those extra ships and planes for World War II warfare as well. So he, just for whatever reason, has become the local expert if you need an obscure plane for your war. Everick from 3CB, he recently had an update for that mod where he added some really cool stuff. Some carried over from Cup, and some brand new. Like, he has a Shahhead drone in it now, and I absolutely love that thing. I'm going to be using it against COG, too. It's going to be great. But he also, of course, the meme I have is he added the damn forklift. Deadman Miller, the guy that currently devs TFAR as TFAR Beta in respect to the original dev that disappeared. He also created something a few years ago called Arma Zeus Cache, because when the game was only 32-bit, it only allowed for a certain amount of RAM to be used during Zeusing, so all of the load times were incredibly high. He fixed that, and he fixed it so damn well that Bohemia was like, oh, that's cool, and then they literally took the code and made it part of base game itself. I mean, most of, if not all the devs for CBA, for ACE, for RHS, and I mean, some of those guys are also tied into a few other things that Bohemia specifically works with. The map devs. Gosh, the frickin' GOS map dev that made the first branches of Arma 3 maps back from, like, 2016 to 2018 for his community. Icebreaker, all the things he's made. Drongo and, gosh, who am I thinking? Who's the other guy whose name begins with a D? Dewako, that's it. Shacktack. Like, there's so many people that have made so many things for this game that, when you bring it all together, that's why we have Arma.
Arbor 3.
So, that's just how everything works. So it's just, fascinating to see how all of that falls together. But regardless, let's go ahead and cover round 2. So, Dream, how's your day doing since you are now joining me, broski?
I was EP all day. I've been very tired lately.
Fascinating.
But that's about it. Yeah, what do you want from me? I've forgotten how to talk. We didn't do this last week, so I was...
Oh my god.
How do you talk? Help.
With my mouth.
Wow.
Dumbass.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I see. We're already starting off.
It's okay, buddy. I'm just messing with you. Ghost Wolf, I need to see if your and I schedules line up, because I do want to do some stuff with you this weekend on that DayZ server. I've just been kind of through the last hurdle of my own work. But, alright. We have what looks like 1 destroy objective tied all the way to Bansham, 3 destroy objectives in the middle area, and then 1 destroy objective tied all the way to the left side of the road. Which, I mean, this is only about a kilometer's distance if we were to go from right to left. So if Blue 4 literally were to just sweep this zone, they should be fine. Keep the river on the right, and things should be a-okay. But we'll just have to see what they work with. But I honestly think just a line sweep would be fine for something like this. You almost had multiple mental breakdowns at work today? Well, you didn't, dwarves. And that's what's important.
You didn't.
All right.
Everything is okay. And now you get to play Armor 3. Because we love Armor 3.
Pitfalls for this mission, I would not put anything north of the river. I feel like that is a very bad idea because then you're going to eventually have to cross the river, and that's no bueno. I would literally just use the western spawn and sweep everything in with a battle line. And then anything on the southern battle line, if they run into resistance, can then fold up north and create an L-shaped attack on any resistance. And then if the, southern side starts getting counterattack, you can just fold that in and then reform the platoon battle line. I think the only way Op4 is going to win this one is to attacks of opportunity and being able to quickly wipe out enemies before they can do any regrouping. But then again, what I'm thinking of requires a massive amount of tactics and coordination. And this is FNF. Yeah. So, naturally, everything's going to fall apart upon first contact. But hey, you can at least set yourself up for success.
Ban Chom. Nice name.
Thinking about what I mentioned earlier, for the fact that Nem's working on a 12-hour op, there's two ways to do it. You can either do it as a pure Zeus element, or you could just make a modified Mike Force server with a Zeus that can actively add other sites. And I think that would be, in terms of breaking everything down, you can either have that for a continuous mission, or you would have to divide either Kamlau or Kisan, because I don't think you could do it on the Bra. You could do like a modified impromptu Mike Force and divide every area something to attack and sweep, but you would have to divide it amongst checkpoints. In the sense of, after 3 hours, the mission file switches to this. Or not even after 3 hours, after you basically hit the checkpoint. You then shift it to a new mission file, so it gives the server some time to restart. And everyone can have, up to a 20-minute break.
Were you there for the last one?
Was there a last one?
Did you not hear of it?
No!
Oh my God. I was on a boat for 8 hours. No, it was 10. It was like 10 hours.
You were on a boat for 10 hours.
We were on a boat for 10 hours. Oh my God. I don't have memories. I don't have nightmares.
No, I do vaguely remember that. But here's how you get around that. You would just have vehicle crews that can switch between assets.
Thanks, here. I really hope you're there next time to make that point.
I would have... Yeah, no, I wasn't there, and I definitely wasn't the Zeus.
We lost our minds. We broke as humans at the end of that. We broke.
Why would you be on a boat for 10 hours?
Because we were... Okay, the best I can remember is we were meant... Me and my crew were meant to watch the waters for anything. But because it was such a big operation, and there's so much going on, we kind of got forgotten about.
Yeah.
And we were just like, every now and then we'd see a boat, and we'd all just like neuron activate. It's like gun, fire. It's like hour one. It was like, this is nice, because we were playing music, we were having a great time, and then you got to like hour 6. And all of us collectively lost our minds. As soon as we see like one thing, even a bunny rabbit, I think someone shot 120. You know those gunboats that have like multiple guns on them? What's the biggest gun you can get on it?
I honestly forget, but that depends if you're using the Mac V boat or any of the smaller ones. I'm assuming you're using the larger patrol one.
Yeah, the larger patrol one.
Yeah.
Whatever the biggest cannon on there is, we kept shooting that at bunny rabbits.
That's amazing. But yeah, no, that just shows inexperience from a mission dev standpoint, but at the same time, there was multiple failures there, but I can describe that another time. But let's actually start going with the mission. First off, Lufa, welcome back, buddy. There's plenty of content to catch up with. Hope everything's good with you. But let's get into the round here. So, mission details. Blue 4 have 5 ammo trucks to find and destroy. So it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. I love it. And then there is... Okay, no. It's 1 static ZPU and 4 ammo trucks. Cool. So if Op 4 is able to at least defend one of those assets in the 50 minutes, they win. If Blue 4 find all 5 of those to destroy, they win. Otherwise, 4 to 5 points, 100, but this is going to be mainly a mobile mission. Notes, rain, jungle, war, death. So many questions. People in chat, please ask your questions to SOG. Background, short seismic activities found south under River Zizou. SOG Recon assigned to search. Okay. Area of operations located in Ho Chi Minh Trail, Laos, southeast near the border on Vietnam and at River Zuzi. I'm probably butchering the name of that. Weather forecast, the rain will stop in the first hour, which means there'll be 15 minutes of non-rain at the end of the mission if it even gets that far. Area, dense jungle, the river with craters due to bombings and dirt roads. Mission rules, Blue 4, safe zone 1, the big one in the east, is the only safe zone visible to all parties. Blue 4, only SOG may start in another safe zone rather than safe zone 1. I would recommend they pick the southern one rather than the northern one. Loadouts for Blue 4 are Mac V forces, so all of the early M16s. We also have... That's the Stoner Commando machine gun. Nice. M72 Laws, Mark 14s, Mark II carbines, the XM148 UGL launcher, and then M60s. Their transports are various cars and trucks, nothing armed. Op 4, meanwhile, are PAVN forces. I just realized we haven't put the prediction up. 1 second. But they're mainly going to have Type 56 AKs, SKSs with the GL, K50s, maybe something else, but give me 1 second to just get that going. All right. But let's see. B41s as well for the RPG, Mass 4756s, and then PK. Wow. PKM's in play as well.
Never truly escape them.
All right, so... Objective 5 is going to be... I'm trying to look for the ZPU. So the ZPU is tucked away at Destroy 4. But this means that all of the other Destroy objectives can be actively driven around, I bet. So I want to see Op 4 utilize the tree sniper positions. I want to see everything galore at this point. We've got one town that's been bombed to hell. And then Blue 4 starting off on this side. Looks like Blue 4 is trying to make a person tower. Alright. Otherwise, that's it. I mean, again, for Blue 4 tactics, I think they should just do a line push. If they want to have SOG go on a different AO, have them go to the south, because the north they have to cross the river, and that's a really bad idea. SOG could also try hitting the other side of the search area, but I'm going to be honest, I would say better to use them as some sort of QRF force personally, but I'm not in charge, so I guess I won't be able to make that decision. But looking over at the sides, Hrana commanding Blue 4. Hrana is part of the multi-twitch if you type !multi. Ash going to be leading Alpha with Kazag and Swola under him. Marksman Rifle is going to be a scoped M16. Banks leading Alpha 1 with Tackleberry, Wheaton, and Eric. Alpha 2 has Strottenberg and Dusty. Bravo being led by Puma with Nemesis Malin and Cullis. Bravo and Aziani leading Cats, Wise, Flying Finn, and Dobbs. Charlie being led by DJ with Dardis, Misspear, Professional Noob, and Jijvos. Pierce leading Charlie with Goose, Mike, Rodrig, Henry, T, and Snodgiper. Delta being led by Lurch with Oddball. Delta 1 has Sweet leading Robinino, Killer, Zuck, and Whiteside. Op 4 being led by Vagrant, who is a classic commander in FNF. Grav going to be the 2IC, Pi being the medic. Patriot leading Alpha with Macarine, Huel, Kiri, Seasmoke. This is a big squad. Alexander, Olaf, Sam, Korvac, Charlotte, Ungrim, Rookie, Hampton, Omri, and Tomer. Bravo being led by NASA with Sky Online, Skipu, and Kremet. Bravo 2 has no... Actually, no. It's Lolo leading because he has the slash in his name. Leading Wiki, Blom, Pogo _ and Depso. Bates leading Delta with Norris and Ara, Toger, Sablon, Iqbal, and Mayo. And Delta 2 has Harrington as his own as a PKM gunner.
Sure, I haven't looked at the defenders yet. Liru, I think I will leave you for this round, actually, because I may as well go play, because my friend's on, and I want to go play. So I want to go die, like, really quickly. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor.
Okay.
Cast a Curse me.
Can SL Dream channel his inner Audrey Hotto and be a vital component of this operation?
I haven't looked at defenders at all, so...
Okay. Yeah, go have fun, bro.
But don't worry, everyone. I'll be back next week, and you will have more fun SL Dream time. I'll be back, and I'll be back to being good at my job.
Have fun, buddy. I'm gonna go put my T4 plugin on then. All right.
Okay.
All right. Boy. Well, I hope he doesn't feel bad. I tried to give him a choice in the matter.
Hello?
But I'm glad he could join us for a little bit. Yeah, 15-minute co-host. That's all good. Also, Whale, how you doing, broski? But yeah, he didn't look at the defenders at all, so we'll see how things go. So, Op4 are going to have the opportunity to basically move the cache positions wherever they want, except for Destroy 4, which is just a static ZPU, and we'll go from there. Now we can hear their local comms there. But yeah, he wants to go play with Blue 4, so makes sense. I don't know. Beyond the plan, if Blue 4 goes north of the river, that's a really bad call because they have to then cross the river, and the only crossing point's up here, which is a shallower part of the river. But, I mean, Op4 could also feel they're super overstretched, so some of these fights might just come down to luck. So, who knows at that point. This is really just going to be for Op4 to ambush Blue 4 as they come in, and then up to Blue 4 to, you know, react to those ambushes positively, and then try to piecemeal off groups of Op4 and take them out. Beyond that, that is pretty much all we have. We could also see Blue 4 take the SSRs here and go all the way around and do a reverse push instead, from left to right and, instead of right to left, but I don't know. This could honestly go either way, and I'm here for it, but again, from the, you know, safe start time, hard to say what exactly might happen. Dream left because he said there's friends that normally aren't on that he wants to go chill with and he'll join me next week, which, again, totally fine for that. And no hats in this op are bulletproof. Ha! Nothing's bulletproof. To be perfectly honest, everything can pretty much be mag dumped. There's no 113s. It's only transport trucks on either side. So bullets are going to be effective against everything here. I'm going to be honest. This is one of those rare missions where both sides have a lot going for them. So in all honesty, this could really play out either way. I think Blue 4 are going to do the all-the-way around strategy. They're totally going to bypass, and then they're going to have a SOG team on the north. I assume their plan is going to be to come down here and then cross and then go in and just sweep left or right. And then Op4 are just going to basically set up their defensive areas and then adjust accordingly based off of AO. 5 minutes. But yeah, no, like, in all seriousness, for a 12-hour op, that would be kind of cool. And then we could, you know, actually have pay-for-pain elements where players can... I could give a mini list to pay for platoons or other special assets to come in with. That is totally viable. It's just if we're going to throw in, like, you know, tanks and whatnot, they'd have to be priced accordingly. Oh, right, of course, when people throw their lag switches on and become bulletproof. Ha! Nah, that's all perfectly viable. It's just, again, once you get past, like, the 60-player threshold of Arma 3, that's when you have to start being really stingy about network and, what you spawn in, where, and yada-da, because, I mean, if you remember watching OFCRA yesterday, the mortars were causing desync spikes, and I was mistaking it for a DDoS at first because of how sporadic it was. And then someone pointed out it was the mortar in chat, and we timed it, and it was like, yeah, no, for whatever reason, when the mortar fires... It wasn't when the mortar fired, it was when the mortars were landing. That was causing massive desync spikes. That made absolutely no sense to me, but it was like, oh, okay. That seems to be it. It was weird, but hey. You never know what can provoke a random network desync spike. It's Arma 3, baby. Alright, but anyway, we'll be covering round 2 and round 3 of this scenario for FNF this week because, you know, Vietnam only happens a few times a year. Then we'll be doing some DayZ later tonight and then some mission dev for the Sunday op. Then I have to go finish up my tax paperwork. We actually just recently had a similar problem in COG with our Liberation server with the Reaper drones. They kept aggroing multiple points of interest, which tanked the networking performance. Yeah. I would say with Liberation servers and what COG uses for their AI mods, I'd imagine the Reaper drones provoking a lot of areas to spawn in units, and then those units to start processing all of the AI scripting. That's a little more obvious, I would say, because you're just basically causing the server to spawn in a bunch of stuff and start running a bunch of program. And that's going to take server resources, which is why you were probably having those issues. But having a mortar, like what in a purely player PvP event has a mortar detonating, which mortars are used all the time in PvE and PvP, but they don't cause massive lag spikes like that. Like what was causing that one per se, you know? Like that's a weird one. Like that one doesn't seem to have a logical explanation for it other than I guess the effect of the mortar detonating was causing issues. Like maybe there was a cratering script that was causing that? Because if you have a bunch of people on a server and then everyone has to process the map physically being deformed, then I could see that being the reason, but it's so weird, you know? Who knows at that point? But alright, one more minute. We're going to see the SOG team move down. I'm willing to bet we're going to basically see this team come around here, that team go down, they're going to scout things out, and then they're just going to see a sweep left to right. And they're doing that to potentially keep Op4 on their toes, and Op4, they're given this big-ass area, so they naturally need to start everything spread out, and once they find where Blue 4 is coming from, then they can start converging on it. But beyond that, that's all they've got to really work with. So I'm not envious of Op4's job for this one. But it's going to be a purely reactionary role to what we see here. Yeah, that's fair part-time. That's fair. But, I mean, the good news is now you have the experience and the know-how, so if you run into something similar, you know now. And I'm going to be honest, that's why it also, for any community trying something out, it always helps to have people that have been doing this for a long time. Free to move now. Malin adding that in. But you never know what someone might have run into earlier in this game. Because Arma is a very fickle bitch when she wants to be. And then sometimes you'll load up a bunch of code and go, this is not going to work. And then you have one of the best ops of your life and like the server's like, yeah, this is fine. I can process all of these Star Wars assets that normally crash the server individually. But together it magically works. God, that's how early Star Sim was. The server would either completely die or would work and you'd have one of the greatest experiences of your life. Why? Don't know. Watch them fumble and actually take a right up here and end up right in Op4's ambush. They're not. They're going to go left. And then one truck just got lost and is trying to off-road it. That's even funnier. Yeah, I noticed scripting for the safe starts broke last... I said that ironically. Okay, no, I think they just noticed they took a wrong turn, and they're dismounting. Is Blue 4 going to split their force in various directions? Why would you do that? Holy shit, well, I cast her Cursed Dream, and it looks like he's about to get his wish. He's gonna walk right into... Oh, also, it's going to be really funny because there's going to be a point in the road where it's out of safe start, so they'll have to drive through it, and if they're not quick enough, it'll kill them. And that's 100 meters to drive. Oh, this should be good. This right here shows me that they weren't supposed to drive around this side anyway, or it was completely forgotten about. Yeah, you shouldn't stop. You need to power through it. They're going to try to ride the border instead. Good luck, dude. It's a hill. It's shown as a hill on the map. You're not driving through that. Don't hold your breath part-time, hobo. Don't hold your breath. Yeah, they're dedicated to this drive, I'll give them that. One false move, though, one little clip with a tree, and they're going to lose an entire squad of infantry. Quickly looking at the SOG team, they've crossed the river, they're heading south. And again, I have predicted, around on the side. This is a bit of a curveball to me. But this just shows me they're going to basically have two different sets of scouting units. I guess to either do... You know, that's what it could be. This could be some sort of interdictory attack to force Op4 to think that this is where Blue 4 is coming in on, whereas the rest of Blue 4 just sweep these remaining sectors and come around. I don't think Op4 needed to watch the river, though. If Pierce was leading my opponent, then I would watch the river. I would literally do a full 360 space out because there's no way in hell you can predict what Pierce would do. But any other commander, I would say it's pointless to watch the river because they're going to at least be a bit more tactical with it and come in through the MSRs. I'd put something all the way down here to watch this one. I'd send a team down. I'd watch that one, and that one. And then everything else just centraled on the objectives ready to move in based off of what my reconnaissance reports gave me. And then maybe leave one or a fire team worth of guys for internal security. But keep all the assets completely spaced out. That way, if Blue 4 does get their hands on one, it's not the end of the world, and I can just regroup everything and counterattack. But yeah, no, they finished driving everything around. I don't see why this little bit of the road was cut off. That should have been brought down a bit more, but that's just a little oversight. Because I don't think even they thought... Well, they had to, otherwise they wouldn't have added all this extra space, but... Yeah, I don't know. Weird calls. Damn it, Liru, let me have hope. Hobo, I'll give you a hint. And this is a hint for any content creator in regards to Arma. Once... How do I word this? Once you are able to bring up a conversation about Arma 4 in someone's chat with someone that would normally address comments like that, once they shut up and just brush it off, then you know there's news about Arma 4, because that's when the NDAs start getting enforced. So until that happens, and it's not going to happen for a while, that's when you want to have hope, buddy. But not a second sooner, because it's going to be a while. So yeah, this force is going to sweep. These guys are on standby waiting for this force to be in position. These guys are also waiting. And I think this is the one I don't agree with. This should be going in right now because these guys are about to be in position to start sweeping. But this shows me that they're going to still do an early dismount here and spend another 5 to 10 minutes getting their forces actually into position. And the longer things take, the more Op4 is going to realize that there isn't going to be a frontal attack here, and they might have to start shifting their forces south. Or even to their rear on the east, because maybe Blue 4 is going to do something stupid. And they somehow got their vehicles across the river and they're going to drive them around. There's no way for them to do that, though. Now, even as a commander, I would think they would have a way to get their vehicles across the river. Yeah, there it is. Through that road, then. So it would definitely start shifting all their stuff to the other side, because by then they would have taken contact. But here's that dismount. You're going to see this force come up to this MSR right here. I was calling them SSRs earlier. That's the MSR of the AO. These ones are SSRs, so... Main supply road, side supplied road. Basically, main supplied road is the biggest road in the map. Side supply roads are roads smaller. But logically, they don't have any choice but to basically sweep this entire zone for the objective, unless they can see where they are specifically, but I doubt they can. I think that's only one-sided for the defenders. We see them because we're spectating, but I digress. They would just need to do a sweep around. Would it be the case that Arma 3 gets modded and stable by the community that Arma 4 comes out? I mean... to some extent, Arma 3 is already stable, if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then yeah, it's never gonna work out. Main MSR, I mean... yeah, that's a bit of an overstatement. That's like saying... shake SMD or something. Like, you're saying the first word of the acronym. But there are instances where there might be two MSRs interdicting and the main one is the quote-unquote one you're using, but yeah. Chai T. Yeah, TT. I'm gonna go on a limb, though, and say you only know that acronym because of the Spider-Man movie. ATM machine. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I will admit, I am guilty of using that one, though. Nah, just a nerd, gotcha. In the most recent Spider-Verse movie, there's a mini rant about Chai Tea. But, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, so these guys are going up this SSR. But again, tactically, there's no reason for them... not to sweep it unless they can see the objective markers, or the ground command just saying, F it, we're going to go for the center first, and then sweep it later. Or maybe the SOG guys will come and sweep it, and these guys will go right towards the middle. And good on you, dwarves. What's tactically confusing me, though, is why we have a team all the way on the outside over here. I would think they're going to go to the middle area and start... interdicting and causing Op4 to get pinned down as Blue 4 lessened the search zone by actually starting the search, so... by now, I feel like these forces should be getting a move on, because what's the point if the main force gets engaged and everything pulls to the main force and then these guys are forced to sweep? Another thing they could be waiting for is potentially hitting the AO at the same time, but that would require coordination from up here as well. Like, I'm struggling to see what Blue 4 is going to do at this moment. Because there's a lot of good calls they could make, and then there's a lot of meh calls they could make. Not really any bad ones per se, except holding these guys in reserve as this force goes in. That would be a bad call. I just don't see what the plan is by having the players in 3 separate groups right here. Mink, I also like turtles, buddy. But we've already spent 10 minutes maneuvering.
So what are you going on? No, I think that was yelling and everyone should have fucking heard it.
Yeah, I heard it, dude.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of is these guys are going to go to the central area. The SOG team has to go down here and sweep. I don't know why we don't have this team grouping up with SOG to sweep left to right, but this team going in as they set up that sweep to start interdicting, to draw forces to them as then this team sweeps. These guys can pull back and set up ambushes as then this group does the... Instead, you've got the main force now coming to the central area. This group on reserve and this group seemingly on reserve. If one of you in chat has an idea of what they're doing, let me know, because it feels like they're just going for the central objectives.
Just wait. Have some patience.
And leaving aside, you hear that, you know, these guys are getting bored of waiting around. It's just when you make really convoluted plans like this and then leadership and squad leaders go down, everything gets thrown through a loop because everyone's just going to default to rushing into the AO and finding the objective, but there's not really a lot of sense being made here.
I'm just, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Well, yeah, we can hear that this squad's getting impatient with it. And then again, the main force going in first, what's the point of separating your elements if they're going to draw the conflict? Yes, okay, so we gleaned a bit of information there. They want these guys to be behind the line of this force. Why? The only thing I can think of having security forces in reserve is to, if there's a flanking attack that comes in, they could then come up and relieve it, but why not just have them come in on a unified battle line ready to fold their forces in?
I think Caps has broken Nemesis.
Yeah, so you got these guys coming out. They're going to be doing the sweep in the flank. Yeah, this really feels like Blue Force setting themselves up to be defeated in detail here.
Yeah, copy that.
Sounds like these guys are now moving out.
Okay, I set you free. Go forth. Go north. Go, my children. Go forth. Go north.
So what's going to happen here is this three-man team is going to get pretty much cut off and taken out. That's going to draw everything down here. You're going to have the main fight in this area as SOG is sweeping the sector. And then they'll eventually regroup as these forces are committed south. So Blue Force just going for a single direct engagement at this point. Okay, Op4 have a nice little ambush set up here. And they're going to start seeing...
Contact.
Yep.
Contact south of red.
Well, Dream might actually have a chance to be immediately picked off. So first contact report being called in down here. Unified GL's coming in. Malin tanks it. You gotta remember, GLs in the jungle are tough because a lot of bushes and trees can be angled at such weird sides to kind of absorb all the shrapnel damage. So that was a really good starting ambush. I really appreciate the grenades that are being thrown here. But the jungle and how thick it is here, it's really deceptive on how well it deflects damage. So these guys doing a great job of just immediately engaging and pulling away. And you've got explosives going off, but they're just so ineffective because of how the jungles are rendered in this game. And then even while these guys are running away, they've got explosions going right at them, and it's just not doing anything. And then that explosion manages to get them both there. And some return fire. It's just luck of the draw. I think they're going to wake back up, but can Blue 4 run up and double tap them in time is the real question. Yep, there they are. So with that limitation on explosives, it means you're going to go from really open areas where explosives are going to be incredibly effective to, you know, just a meter away where the tree lines are going to pretty much stop all explosives from being effective here. So now we have a unified battle line with one group in reserve on the side. And then SOG just kind of in the rear, forced to look around. And I mean, they could infer that there's nothing over here based off of a lack of resistance, but all the more reason for Op4 to literally drive their forces to the outer areas just so they're squirreled away. We just had one GI go down. Curie and Huel at the same time. Wise down over here in his initial firefight, but this is the first battle we're getting. Op4 quickly turning all their forces around. Blue 4 about to take that reserve element and open up a different flank. And we basically have a modified plan of what I wanted to see come in. But because Blue 4 have created such a pretty big battle line, how did Dream whiff all of those, man? Wow. I would have laughed if Dream immediately got one-tapped in response. And then you just had a guy over here get taken out. But Dream is intentionally playing this very aggressively. Now Op4 sending reinforcements in. But that's Mistbeard, Cats, and Flying Finn was the guy up with Dream. And there goes Dream. So the right side's going to fall apart. We could see this group then swing in, but you just have this massive engagement line. I'm going to be honest, I can't remember the last FNF that had this massive firing line between both sides. I like it. Don't get me wrong, it's just weird how it ended up in this AO at this angle, of all things. And they could have the SOG team come in and reinforce. But with the skull count, we're just seeing both sides kind of trading evenly at this point. You got some Op4 and Blue 4 starting to end up in the middle of each other's line. Pierce is about to get taken out. Got healing. Op4 have a central line all the way down here. It's funny, though, because they're kind of suppressing into their own force on this side. So there's just a massive amount of confusion. Numbers-wise, this could still go either way. But you got the main Blue 4 group on the center line. You've got what's left of this group only down to 2 dudes. Make that 1 dude. And then Op4 have a centralized force here. But, I mean, Blue 4, they still have a big squad over here. It looks like they're sending Tackleberry down just to scout everything else out as these guys now move up. This fight's still indeterminate, though. Every time you hear a distant scream is a player getting killed off. Yeah, Blue 4 able to take care of everything there. Now they're checking their rear, but if they hold them enough, that grenade knocks T out. And that other Op4 player just got taken out. Kremet wakes up. Only for Mike to miss all of his double tap shots. He gets a hit on Rodrig before going down again in a 2-to-1. NASA waking back up. Numbers-wise, it is impossible to say. NASA finds T in double taps. AT coming in, knocking Snajapair up. Another round coming in as well.
Send in GOAT Team 6.
1-to-1 ratio in non-so far.
I'd agree. I mean, right now I think it's slightly leaning on Blue 4 because now we're going to have these 2 massive groups and Op4 only has 1 centralized unit around the 1 static objective. That's another thing. I'm not sure if these trucks were drivable. I feel like if they were, that would have been a really cool feature so that Op4 could have dynamically moved their stuff around, but here, I don't know. We're seeing Blue 4 getting cut down over here nonetheless, but Corvath, thanks for a 27-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Now you're just going to have a long-range suppression fight from those two. That's going to give time for the other element of Blue 4 to come around. They're going to get caught up on destroying these objectives, though. So honestly, if this force just holds and engages, they're fine. We'll see some counter-attacking, but Op4, I think, are just going to stay pinned on these objectives here.
I'll pack you. 10 seconds left.
We could see these two come around. Not sure how much damage they're going to be able to do. NASA can pull away, though. And you got the Delta medium machine gunners continuing to suppress in that position. I don't think Blue 4 should be focusing on attacking from this flank. They should be focusing on uniting their elements, but weird calls all around nonetheless. Goose gets blown away. As Op4 are trying to send some elements to counterattack what remains of this left side attack wave. Depso, I think, just accidentally Molotov'd himself. I saw the symbol go up briefly. That's funny. NASA passing Goose. And then we got those two Op4 guys coming around. They could do some pretty significant damage here if they get an angle to. Especially if they can bypass the sentries. Great grenade throws into here. If it drops, it was just short of where it needed to be, but this is the right idea. Tomer's a little lost. Looking back over here. Sky and Depso trying to come up. Looks like Depso woke up. He gets double tapped so the fire effect stops. Grenade landing right on Mike, though. And you just have some really intense CQC from basically small elements between the two. But Wiki has the potential to do the most damage. With that K50, he could drop so many dudes. Only manages to get one knockout and immediately tries pulling away. A grenade follows him, but the tree absorbed most of the damage. Gets a kill. He is being hunted, though, and I think he's dead. There it is. Lurch with the double tap finally ran out of ammo. Tomer could come up and get some additional drops, but he runs away instead. RPG's coming in. Looks like it went in that tree line. I think Malin just got sniped. More AT launches being heard. Sog finally finishing the sweep here. They're going to find this one truck and realize that that is the one objective for that zone, so they'll regroup. Gonna be honest, now it's looking a little more even, but we need to see a little bit of a rebound here by Blue 4, but if Norris and NASA are able to clean up these two, Mike can hear him. Oh, a beautiful noob tube on Norris. Tries to follow up, gets the hit on NASA. Can he get the double tap? Gets a few shots in, not the ragdoll though. Sky Online coming in. There's the double tap. Beautiful double hit kill by Mike there. He's on 4 kills. Got Blue 4 planting the explosive. This Blue 4 group, I mean, I think Op 4 has the number advantage at the moment. But that could be turned around. Shots going overhead. Not sure if that was on Mike or Sky Online. It is blue on blue fire on Mike's position. Now we have a lull. Op 4, again, have a really good defensive objective here. Blue 4, again, shouldn't really be pushing these objectives. Instead, they should be trying to regroup with the element over here because these guys are going to get slowed down on the destroy objectives because they have to take care of them. So if this element pushes in unsupported, they're unlikely to be able to do a lot because of how strong the Op 4 garrison is. And then Op 4 can just turn and defeat that other element. Blue 4 gets defeated in detail. However, if Blue 4 actually manages to get a few good kills here, they could weaken the garrison enough so that this remaining force sweeps it over. I'd say right now, based off of positioning of forces, Blue 4 have a slight advantage. Because Blue 4 could kill all these guys and start putting pressure on the final area. Tomer has kind of lost track of where Blue 4 was. Now, if the other guy that was putting pressure on this objective, I already forgot his name, no offense. If he was able to get a few more kills, then I'd say it's more leaning Op 4 because these forces would be able to immediately stop this group. But based off of the spacing of Op 4 here, it could still very much go either way, but I feel like it's just slightly in Blue 4's ball court here. Now, Sky Online might be in a position to also interdict the elements coming in here. However, if Blue 4 also only trickles in a few elements here, then it's game over. But first truck is taken out. This could really go either way, and you see Blue 4 is getting really confused on where they're being engaged from as well. And I can't even begin to tell you who has the number advantage too, but Blue 4 very broken apart on this one side. They got a bit of a better unification here. Tomer coming back. I agree. Op 4, when it came to, they folded in and are doing a really good job of actually playing defense here. But that was the only strategy they could really do in this circumstance. Ash, can he save Tackleberry from getting killed? We need to see Sky Online do a double tap. He does not, and he somehow gets around Ash. Tackleberry even wakes back up from not being double tapped. Okay. Oh, I would totally do that too, to be perfectly honest. I would be that freaking petty. But yeah, you still have the SOG teams taking care of the trucks over here. Op 4 have pulled that element back. I think that was a great call to pull them back, regroup them, and then potentially push in the counterattack or set up a new defensive line. That gives them better standing to hold off against that push. But also bring them in to where there's more people looking, since Blue 4 is busy trying to take out the trucks over here. But now they're out of time. Give SOG 1 or 2 minutes and they'll start pushing from the other side. And this is where we now have a slight issue of if this gets destroyed, it's game over, because Blue 4 are lined up to take out that truck as well. If Tomer's going to make a play, he needs to make it soon because Blue 4 is just outmaneuvering him at this point. Wise trying to push this new defensive line. Seismo gets the kill. Does take an injury from it, but that's good for Op4. Something explodes over here. I think it was a random explosive trap that either Op4 had or Blue 4, I guess, were putting follow-up demo on it. I don't know. This is where Tomer could guarantee an Op4 victory. Blue 4 is loosely spread out. If Tomer keeps his wits about him, he does have a Type 56, 30 rounds on an AK. He could do a pretty significant amount of damage. Blue 4 regrouping just means he has an opportunity to hit him with a grenade, and they're in a more open area, so those grenades aren't going to get absorbed by trees or shrubbery. But he doesn't commit again. Again, overly cautious and not being as aggressive as he needs to actually make the play here. And I get it. In these moments where you're alone and you don't know where the enemy is, you only hear the gunfire, you want to make sure you go in there without getting immediately flanked and losing the opportunity. But at the same time, with how far the rounds have gone, eventually you just need to commit. And if he keeps the bank to his right and just slowly moves in on the high ground, he should be able to make sure that no one walks up on him, as long as he keeps pace. And that pace being a slow, methodical one where he occasionally stops, looks around from cover, and then continues on. But looks like he's now recommitting. But look at this Op4 battle line they've set up to basically stop any Blue 4 movement along the coast. That is great. That gives time for this garrison to potentially turn around and engage, but you also notice they've been taking casualties by Blue 4 starting to trickle in. You can see where that SOG team's been getting taken out early on. So again, it's looking good for Op4 at the moment. We just need to see Tomer get in here and get some kills. 50-50 is going to get hit by his own line, though. I'm calling it now. Tomer has the easy job, though. He just has to line up shots, and he's going to be very defensive. But look at that. White side gets blown up. Tomer just needs to now double tap. But he might not. Nope. He's running away again. Oh, my God. I get it. I get it. Scared. Whiteside wakes back up. Zuck wakes back up. Tomer pulls away. I don't get it. That one, at that point, you just commit to the bit. But he's choosing to stay stealthy, and it's just not going to really pay out for him. Whiteside gets double tapped by Olaf, because, again, this defensive line's doing a great job. But at that point, if the guys you're tracking are getting killed, why not just push in at that point? We just heard a VC guy get taken out by Mike. He's on 5 kills with that Stoner Commando, by the way. Honestly, I mean, back when we didn't have SOG Prairie Fire, we just had Unsun. Stoner Commander was my favorite machine gun because it had barely any recoil, and it was very easy to just go crazy with it. Tomer finally gets an opportunity. Ends up in a 2v1. All right. Tomer should have opened up with a grenade if he had it. If he didn't, based off the fact he was playing a really paranoid attack style, he should have gone for 1 or 2 headshots and then immediately folded back if he was going to be that jumpy. So I don't know why he committed himself to that fight for more than, 2 or 3 seconds if he was being very aggressive and immediately trying to pull away. It doesn't make that much sense to me in terms of strategy. Seismo trying to come up and get Zuck. Gets the kill. DJ trying to get the save. But Seismo's also been pretty strong these past 2 ops as well. Fighting the recoil of the AK. We see the rounds continue to go above. And Seismo gets another hit. But yeah, you gotta remember, if you're doing an ambush from the rear, open up with grenades if you can, because that'll confuse the hell out of your opponent. Whereas a gunshot immediately gives them a direction of where you're engaging from. And then, especially if you have room to disengage, give a few hits, and if you miss, just pull away. Because at least you're pinning down that force and making them think they're being engaged from the rear. And sometimes that's all it takes. Because now this Op 4 element just has to turn around and engage the remaining SOG crew, because that battle line was able to stop pretty much everything coming from that direction. Now you're going to have these guys turn around and assist with that defense, and I'm pretty sure Op 4 is going to win this one. Runda, I don't think we should judge cohesion of movement in PvP because it's very difficult to get that pulled off properly. Even if you just have your forces go along a battle line, the PvP aspects are just going to fall to whether or not the players decide to actually, you know, at the squad level, reinforce each other. I mean, I agree. I think the cohesion of Blue 4's attack looked really good, but at the same time, Blue 4's also losing right now. And the only reason Op 4 is winning is because they were given time to basically solidify a defensive line and carve something out. Granted, they're down to their last objective, but it's working. But I'm going to be honest. Blue 4 should have instead had that far squad, done an interdictory attack, done an engagement, and then immediately pulled away to bring in aggro and committed to a longer range fight to force Op 4 into this area. And then the rest of Blue 4 should have just swept this zone. SOG should have instead gone in and done a second attack of that. Coordinating two of those attacks would have really thrown Op 4 through a loop, and then just had the main force sweep left to right. That would have been a much more solid plan, and those two opening attacks would have really confused the hell out of where Op 4 should have set up their defensive line and forced them to basically all commit on the current objective they were at now, and that could have provided more openings for those two interdictory teams to basically do early on attacks until the main force was ready to assault this objective head on. Not too interested in the precision of the strategy, more so how gameplay looks. Gotcha. I mean, okay, from a coordinating standpoint, if you're asking how well the coordination looked because the players didn't have a GPS, I think at that point, yes, they did a decent job with their maneuvering. It's just tactically... How do I word this? Watching it, it was fine. For the plan I think the ground commander was trying to go for, it looked like the coordination of movement was good. And I commented on that earlier. We had a massive battle line literally from here to here of both sides engaging each other. It was at least 400 meters of both sides engaging. But from a tactical standpoint, that's where I have gripes with it, admittedly. I think someone just bled out over there because I haven't heard any gunshots. And now it's down to 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 to 11. So Blue 4's not out of the game yet, but it's going to be a big uphill battle for them to win this one. But yeah, no, if you're talking about that massive battle line fight we saw, I even said that looked really cool. It looked really good. But again, tactically, it could have gone better. And, you know, I'll say it even more. I'll refine the point even more. Op 4 tactically did really well. Blue 4 tactically, it could have been better. Because when you're on defense and the enemy has to come to you, and you are dealing with a force that has the number advantage, you want an elongated line like that because that gives you more opportunity to basically catch your opponent out of position because they have more numbers, and then take them out. Now, this is where Blue 4 could somehow steal the victory. If they had AT or something to hit that asset, they could win immediately. And Dusty is the AT guy, but he's already used it. If we had some sort of explosive on that ZPU, Blue 4 would win by default immediately. But this flanking play to the south, catching Op 4 out of position, this is where it can now turn around. Banks getting caught out in the open by some snipers here. Now it's just down to Dusty. But yeah, again, I see what you're going for, Runda. And again, from that standpoint, I think it was really, really cool to see. And I think it definitely allowed everyone a really great chance at engagement. Alexander gets a shot on Dusty there. And now it's just up to Gazag, who is playing rear SOG marksman. Yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, no, it was good. And you got to remember, guys, different people in PvP are going to be trying to get different things out of it because we're all unique individuals that, you know, have our own opinions. Well, Dusty's dead. Now it's just up to Gazag. Ah. And again, I'm here because it's fun to watch these guys kill each other, but I also like to try to break down tactics. Quick caster curse him. Can Gazag channel his inner Audrey Hotto with an M16 with a marksman scope and find out a way to kill almost a dozen VC and destroy a single ZPU? Find out on this episode of Friday Night Fights. No, we just saw the other Blue Fort guy bleed out. I'm not sure if Seismo was on his corpse, but we see that body freshly ragdolling. Ah, yes, in a stunning move, Harrington has shot his own Op 4 ground commander because he quote-unquote scared the shit out of him. Damn, Caster Curse Gazag caused Op 4 ground command to die.
I was just being a fucking retard.
Well, at least he admits it.
I'm giving him blood. He has blood and morphine's back.
Alright, so when this round ends, I gotta go for a second to move some boxes inside because Bloodwind's pestering me. That was fun. She was at work the other day in the office, and she's like, hey, there's a package in front. Can you grab it? And it was literally a box that said, do not attempt to lift on your own. Get 2 people. And she's like, yeah, can you lift it inside for me, honey? And I'm like, you're a bitch. Wow. You know, you got to give it to Gazag. That was a great grenade throw. Torger, where were you? Op 4 or Blue 4, buddy? Well, shit. No kills. I'm so sorry. Okay. I'll be back in a second, and then we'll pay out the prediction and whatnot. Hey, honey, can you go out to the front door? There's a package for you to move. Sure, babe. Opens door. There's 3 fucking packages. And they're big. Not as big as the one that literally had a sticker saying 2 people lift it, but they were big. Some days I just want to strangle. Anyway, let's see. Wow, that's a lot of words. Defensive Marianne. All right, let's pay out the prediction. An Op 4 victory. And it was an upset. Excellent. All right. Three, which is a play on the of FSB. Is it Anne or Annie? Here, let me just put OBS in my other window and I can type this up in real time. Marianne, okay. Blue 4... Actually, it's Op 4 attacking. 4 are attacking with a 10% numbers advantage. And Blue 4 is defending a VIP, 2 caches, and a terminal. Blue 4 have a Huey helicopter. Op 4 have no Vix. Awesome. Okie dokie. Alright. 185k to go before you have 1,000,000 channel points. Good God. Now, Liru, save it for the... Shut up. Don't let the intrusive thoughts win. That's when the fun happens. Anyway. We'll be covering round 3 momentarily. How are you all doing tonight? So, after round 3 ends, I'm going to be taking a break for 30 minutes, and then we'll fire up DayZ, and if you want to torture me on the Chernobyl Pripyat server, feel free to do so. Then after that concludes, we will go ahead and do some mission dev, and I'll be building that final Metro file. It'll be part on an airfield, and then I'm going to be modeling an underground component for that airfield as well. And we'll see what I'm able to build with my resources. I'm thinking I'll, like, build something that actually goes, like, under the runway and you have to use the aircraft hangars to do it. We'll, like, make some sort of, like, elevator system for the hangars. You know, something really cool. For some of them, at least. And then the only last hurdle I have is setting up the server for tomorrow's MCO, and then taxes, and then home free for the weekend. Yeah, that's fair, Shark. I get you. Oh, man. Let's see. For this weekend, I know Saturday, we're going to have the MCO operation, we're going to have the Reviop, and then we're going to have a COG op, so that's 3 Zeus streams. Haha! And then Sunday, we at least have the 6 o'clock. And then after that finishes, we have a 506 on the ground thing. So there's 5 planned streams this weekend. I want to do at least 1 additional DayZ stream with the Ghost Wolf server if I can find the time in the schedule. And if we're lucky, maybe a second one as well. Thank you, honey. Bye, Felicia. Yeah? Alright. There you go. Goober. So Bloodwing's back home too. And brought me dinner. So, hopefully this round will go quick, because I've got a burger. I love burgers. This will be about a 30v30, because it's 61. Then again, with a 10% number advantage, that means it's going to be probably 32 versus 28? 33 versus 27? Something around that. All right. I remember FSB Marianne. I made a an Op 4 PAVN theme mission about assaulting a custom-made FSB Marianne, so I'll be curious to see where this is done. It's probably using a in-game position in Cam Lao Nam. I doubt they built their own, but I'd be curious to see if they did. God, and then... trying to find some time, because I want to start moving some of the Rate Road missions on on the weekend. It is a custom-built FSB, Marianne. Nice. So we got a terminal. There are 2 cache sites to destroy inside. I can't even see them scrolling out, though. And then you got the Assassin's Target Search Zone inside, which is not just the FSB, but it looks like some of the area around it as well. Up for attacking from 3 different locations. And then you also have Geelong Air Base being the Blue Force. So this is all the way up north in terms of the actual map next to Thud Ridge. Interesting. I might steal the mission file then, with their permission, of course, to make a Vietnam theme op. Alright. But regardless, guys, with this being the 3rd round of the night, I just wanted to thank you all for being here with me tonight. Hope you have enjoyed FNF for the previous 2 rounds, for those of you that were either here since the beginning or joining us a little later. And regardless, let's see how this nice little custom fort rush goes. If I were to build this into an Arma op, I'd probably do the same thing with Blue 4. I'd have them have an airbase here, and then set up positions to interdict flyers into the FSB. Maybe even a way to prevent QRF from coming into it, and then actually hit the FSB for like the 2nd hour, if I wanted to make like a full-on 2-hour operation. Highest point here is 353, 357, which isn't higher than the positions over here. So this position's pretty much on a hill, and then you got drop-offs to the 100 of meters here, 50 meters there. And then you got drop-offs down to 100, to, wow, 200. So this is all steep. Really steep. Got an 80-meter plateau right here that then steeps up a bit. So Blue 4 could potentially push out and hold the ridge lines. Then again, with only like 20 or so forces, that's going to be a real big gamble to do for 25 or so. If I was Op 4, I'd just spawn on the north where it's a bit more even. From 305, I mean, yeah, you're getting right on level with the terrain a few 100 meters south. And then here, yeah, from here you'd want to go up to, oh no, that's lower. Yeah, no, this would be the best spawn point then. Because this one, you're going uphill, and you don't want to be caught in a downhill fight. This one, you get tree line all the way through, and you've got some ridges that you can use as overwatch to get the rest of your force in. And then this one, you're kind of going to be going, yeah, it goes downhill here. So you have a really weird route to kind of follow to get in. And again, really steep ridges you want to avoid that are going to push you to open areas. So this would be Pierce's favorite. And then this is what I'd recommend. So it sounds like he's got custom camera work for this one as well. Nice. Banks made some custom angling for this operation in the 1st round, so I guess he also did some for the 3rd round too. So if you like this, make sure you thank Banks. If you know him, shoot him a message. If you don't, just say thank you in chat. He will watch this back and see it. You get a glimpse of the local chatter. That's also why I do it for Op 4, because it's literally about hitting the FSB as hard as you can. But otherwise, that concludes the mission here for the camera work there. So, one of the M10s, I think, spawned in and immediately died. So I'm trying to figure out what that is about. Yeah, so this one. So a little bit of a fumble there. So I guess it's just a 3 objective defense. Maybe, okay, no. Because of numbers, they might have done that on purpose, actually. Because I feel like that would have been tested out. So they have to defend this one gun here. They have to defend a terminal, which has been made into a local radio comm piece. And then the VIP they need to defend is Korvac. Korvac playing Blue Fort Ground Command, Pi being his medical officer under the company command element. Alexander leading Alpha with Charlotte and Huel. Ungrim, Toger, Rookie, and Seismo all together in Alpha 1. Alpha 2 has DJ, Professional Doom, Missphere, Hampton, and Dardis. Bravo being led by Swede with Lurch and Zaki. Nemesis leading Delta with Grav, Wise, Flying Fin, Malin, and Puma, all under Delta 1 be led by Puma. No leadership in Delta 2. It's Dobbs, Katz, and Cullis, and then Sam and Curie. Will stay completed. Fun fact, this did not happen when I tested it on server, yay. So that was an accident. I thought they did it on purpose for the numbers, but ooh. That is kind of funny. But it looks like Delta is starting outside of the AO.
Wise sucks.
Agreed.
Why'd you suck?
Jesus Christ. But they've got a Hog Huey, or a Huey Hog here. I think the C model, but we can actually check in a second. They're just yelling at each other. Oh, it's a B. Okay, my bad. But we've got 1,000 rounds for either gunner on the side. They can drop some frag grenades, smoke, riot gas, and they've got a flare launcher on board as well. Weaponry for Blue 4, your MAC-V unit, your U.S. Army MAC-V unit. So M16s, first gen. Mark II carbines, M72 Laws, the XM148 launcher for the M16. Mark 14s that can be fully automatic, and M60s. We also see some grease guns for the pilots. Otherwise, Op 4's elements are going to be your PAVN force, so Type 56 AKs. SKSs with grenade launchers, standard SKSs, K50 submachine guns, B41s, MAT 4756 battle rifles, or MAS, excuse me, and then PKMs for Delta. Otherwise, looking over at Op 4's force, we have Pierce commanding. Oh, I'm excited. Fawn's leading Alpha with T, Mike, Dusty, Stattenberg, Snodjapair, Rodrigue, Henry, and Goose. NASA leading Bravo with Sky Online, Hirana, and Tackleberry. Ash 1 leading Bravo 1 with Eric, Swola, Banks, Gazag, and could have sworn I read Gazag earlier, but and Wheaton. Lolo leading Bravo 2 with Depso, Vagrant, Kremet, and Wombat. Bates leading Delta with Anara, Norris, Sablon, Harrington, Iqbal, and Patriot there as well. Otherwise, looking at the remaining tasks here, we already covered that. Mission details here, only 650 meters of render distance, 50 fortified points, half of what we've been seeing on the other 2 rounds for the defenders to utilize. Notes here. All right, all of briefing is based on actual events and real life info due to limitations we have with Arma 3. Not all info located in briefing tabs is relevant to what you see in game. However, the entire structure of the FSB in game is based on the actual layout of Marianne. I did the same thing. You can find the layout and build it your way. If you want to find it more about FSB in the battle, check out these links. I use them as source information when creating. Yep, I did the same thing. Links are copied to your clipboard after clipping the hypertext. Special thanks to Banks for helping me. So Banks helped him with all that. That's nice. So, background. FSB Mary Ann was established on 19th of February 1970 by elements of the 1st Battalion, 46th Infantry, part of the 196th Light Infantry Brigade. It was established to interdict movements of Northern Vietnamese People's Army of Vietnam, PAVN, and VC troops and material down the K7 corridor and branches of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. In the pre-dawn hours of the 20th of March 1971, sappers from the VC 409th Sapper Battalion approached the wire of FSB Mariam and took up positions to launch an attack. Sappers moved in small squads of 3 to 6 men, cutting through the base's outer barbed wire walls. The battle for FSB Mary Ann produced a disastrous result for the U.S. Army, which suffered 33 killed and 83 wounded. It is the most deadly attack on a single U.S. firebase during the Vietnam War. The NVA casualties were largely unknown, but 15 bodies were left behind in the aftermath of the attack, and the blood trails and drag marks indicate the NVA may have suffered more casualties. Area of operations, located in the Quang Tinh province of South Vietnam, Marianne had been constructed on the bulldozed summit of a ridge running northwest to southwest. In profile, the elevation looks like the back of a camel, with the base stretching 500 meters across both humps. In-game FSB, from east to west, the FSB is 310 meters long and 310 meters long and with a 130 meter width. North to south, accessible through 2 entrances and holes in barbed wire. Mission rules, all basic FNF rules apply. Alright. I'm proud of Pierce. He picked the best AO to start his troops on, because let's actually look from down here. If he spawned them down here, he'd have to pretty much climb uphill for this one. And that would have been really, really difficult, because he would have then had to downhill push from the closest thing of forested area. And then the other AO right here, he's got this really nasty drop-off. He'd have to go through this open ground. Then he could get in the forested area right on top of the FSB. But, I mean, he could get into that same area if he were to go right here. And he can just safely follow the tree line all the way into the FSB itself. And that's it. Now, defensive lines for this fort, this is quite nice. It's just that we have only a small garrison to deal with it. And I'm going to be honest, the first 10-15 minutes are going to be dedicated to Op4 actually maneuvering down. And then you just have all of this territory out here. So you have the outer gun right here. This could be immediately destroyed. You've got the VIP, which can be kept anywhere along the FSB itself. And then you got the terminal site all the way back here. So we could see Op4 either attack with a unified group. They could split into 2 parts and do a piercing. Not a piercing. A pierce attack, because, you know, it's Pierce commanded. Ha! No, they could do a pincer attack. Or they could do some type of L-shaped attack and get their foot in the door. I don't have my prediction up. I am so sorry. How much time is left? All right. This will be a 5-minute prediction. I got totally involved. Sorry, some days I'm so used to my moderators putting the prediction up for me that I forget to do it sometimes. But thank you for reminding me, Mad Mink. If I were to give my 2 cents, I feel like Blue 4 doesn't really have the manpower to hold this. But if Blue 4 put a defensive line and Op 4 happened to attack that defensive line head-on, Op 4 do not have the manpower to get through the one little outer defensive line that we've got. So either way.
We're defending Korvac.
Yeah, but... Alpha.
I would also have Bravo potentially put a few people outside of the FSB to flank later.
Like, sit in the base and die.
I think like a 2- or 3-man team could easily achieve that.
Not Bravo. Bravo's going to get out of here. When things go really bad, we're going to call the helicopter and they're going to pick us up on the mountain.
It took me 3 hours to build this thing and you're just going to run away from it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, understandable, understandable.
Hey,
So DJ built it.
I'm going to go outside. Die out there instead.
DJ,
Like a
if it's any consolation, I know exactly how you
I
feel.
will die in what I make. Bye.
That's how I was feeling like in the last Rat Road mission, where they all got wiped within like 5 minutes on the first playthrough.
I honestly don't know.
And I lost my freaking mind over that. Because they decided to freaking force split. Oh yeah, I know exactly what he's going for. What he's going through with that. The only other thing I could think of is we could potentially extend this another 200 meters to the full 500 meter length. That could get us to here. And then the width we could also expand north, and you could totally get that AO in size that you want. we could then garrison this base with a bunch of blue 4. And then yeah, I could turn this into a Zeus op easy.
Send in
Hey,
goat
Corn, how
team
you doing,
6
broski?
Now.
Hello. How are you? It's been a bit since I could catch a stream.
It's been a bit indeed, broski, but thanks for joining us. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. Thanks for the 40-month resub, and hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario.
Okay. Well, I'm not like peacefully.
There you go. West, southwest coverage. Cut it in half if you can with trenches. Get minefields up.
You got a computer or you?
Wait, does he have ammo? Is that actual ammo?
Yeah, well, correct.
No, I'm shooting blind.
He's shooting blind.
I didn't. Hold on.
But he has ammo. Oh no. That'd be funny if they just spawn killed Op 4 immediately. So that's kind of what happened with the Rat Road mission I mentioned. I randomly blind fired one of my RD guns and happened to hit the players dead on. And I'm like, I didn't even know you guys were over there.
No, but we'll be in death blade, hopefully. From the
It happens.
He's the medic.
My favourite thing about playing with you guys is the professionalism.
So you see Op 4 practicing. He says as he gets rifle butted. Yeah, they're bros, all right.
Am I shaking my head? Right, there's only a minute there. Don't tempt fate.
So what are we doing?
Killing the enemy.
So running south along the line. As always.
Yeah.
So they've driven a line to follow.
What do you think approaches is up the bald side of the hill?
What's that? I hope you understand. I've been playing New Vegas because in the background, I've been editing footage. I can't edit footage and play Helldivers at the same time. It's too intensive. I could do the same with Pal World, because there's a way for me to lower the intensity of that game, but Helldivers, I can't do that and edit footage at the same time. So just because you're cyber stalking me doesn't mean I have time to do it. There's a reason for it. Alright, operations begun. Looks like they threw a few people on the outside at the last moment to open up a different angle. And they already have the helicopter mounted up. It'll probably fly patrols around, see if they can catch Op 4 out of position. Wow, I can hear the helicopter from all the way over here. I'm surprised they don't have the additional M70 or M60 gunners on the side. Instead, they have riflemen, because I know they've got some M60 gunners in here. You can see this guy, Malin has one. He's staring at another one. They should honestly have these guys on the door guns instead. But instead, they got two M60 gunners. So that's a weird call, but... Let's see what they can find. I wonder if they're going to deploy interdiction. Also, we see these two boxes here. I think the outer one is Op4's area of play, and the inner one is Blue 4's, so Blue 4 can't deploy forces outside of this smaller box. So now I gotta wonder, I think Delta's gonna be setting up an outer perimeter here. We might have an early line of contact opened up, but Op4 starting to enter the zone. I just wonder if Op4 is going to predict that. Well, they have to know that the chopper is bringing forces in, so they know that there's been friendly forces deployed. So will Op4 Delta try to now engage Blue 4 Delta? They folded in at this point. Someone's whistling. Freaking cats.
What? No. Do it, pussy. Hey, yo, it was nice knowing you guys.
Did... What? But... That was weird. I was just enjoying hearing him whistle, but... There we go. If only Delta had that machine gunner to help him out. So you see them trying to return fire and get single shots on. Finn is dead. No one on Op4 Delta's died yet, but both sides are exchanging machine gun rounds. I wonder if these guys are going to come over and flank, or they're going to continue on. The right thing for Op4 to do would be to send these guys over to flank to eliminate that group, and then basically attack the base with a strengthened number advantage, and Blue 4's M60s, but... Not sure if we'll see that. I just heard someone else get hit. And we've got a knockout on Sablon there. Wise has also been killed. And now he's back here. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to chalk it up to shenanigans and call it a day. Got suppressive fire coming on Puma's position. He's trying to go a little lower. And got the chopper flying overhead. All of Op4 Delta still up. Blue 4 still only down 2. Fire coming on Iqbal. He takes a few hits on the arm. Just took a leg hit. Now the chopper's engaging as well. We're seeing shots coming down. And these guys aren't coming around to assist. They're just going to go right for it. I think that's a mistake. They should really be trying to work on eliminating Blue 4's number advantage where they can, but it looks like Katz is being caught out in the open. He's staying back with Malin with the machine guns to try to cover, as the rest of the force simply tries to pull away. So is this Katz running away? I think so. Now we just need to see Malin follow up with it, and these guys just hold security and wait for the main force to go in. Delta will fold in as well. Delta getting 2 early kills there, trying to work on a third, but it's a decent start. I don't think it's going to really change much. It's really just force Blue 4 to solidify their defensive lines closer to the objective itself. And Op4 didn't really try to capitalize on that at all. And it's just giving the Blue 4 chopper something to suppress. And if anything, that's just going to help keep Delta out of the fight here. And mean that Blue 4 will have the number advantage on defense. And make it worse for Op4. Iqbal here is taking a lot of shots. I can see at least 4 different splotches of blood there indicating gunshots, but usually with this much blood, it means he's been hit more than those single times to indicate. What worries me is now you have the machine gun force close to where Op4 are kind of broken apart at this point, so this is giving room for Blue 4 to potentially defeat Op4 in detail here. And I'm about to say, it doesn't really help that they're now separating out and running on triple time with their weapon on their back. Double time means you're sprinting, triple time means you put your weapon on your back and you sprint even faster, but yeah, now Blue 4 is just going to hunker down here. Op4 are loosely oriented. And this is going to allow the machine gun squad to now pin Op4. And these guys are going to move around. We're just seeing Op4 kind of not really staying unified. And now you got the chopper driving around, or flying around. Now it's catching groups to interdict. These guys are going to be forced to go uphill. I'd imagine the gun might be reloading, but this is a perfect group of infantry to fly closer to and suppress. Let's see if he can get any pickoff kills here. No, he's just going to bugger off. That was a mistake. I feel like he should have just held and sprayed the hell out of these guys. Coming back around, but he's giving time for them to regroup. I got fire going all the way up to Company HQ. We just heard an RPG get launched. I'd assume going for the chopper. They tried dropping grenades on him, but they were too high. Yeah, you gotta be under 100 meters for those grenades to work. Otherwise, they'll detonate too high in the sky. But now that they're on the ridge with tree cover, it's gonna be very difficult to find them. And Delta, I think, was ordered to actually back off. So Op4 Delta now joining. They're going to have this massive line attack over here. And for whatever reason, we've got a few Op4 guys that are in the way back here. Parts of, yeah, Bravo 1 is either all the way back here, all the way in front, and then you got Eric all the way down here. I think they're lost at this point. So all this confusion, Chopper shooting at them and keeping them pinned, though, that means that it's going to be really hard for Op4 to maintain their battle line. Delta, I think, is going to be the first force to go into the main fight again. Maybe Bravo and Bravo 2, but you got Alpha kind of pinned by the Chopper and some really long-range fighting from over here. Strange calls. You got Gazog all the way out there. This one's definitely going to drag out, though. Now we might see some... This would be the perfect line to do the grenades on, but looks like they bounced off the tree line. Can you imagine if they dropped the grenades a little later? That would have been a perfect line of grenades to do. But again, in the tree lines, grenades, if they get caught in the trees or whatnot, the explosive properties in the shrapnel are really, really wonky. But that was a good effort. Got this team slowly jumping in. Gazog, I think, is horribly lost at this point, because he's continuing to run all the way down there. Now you have this really long-range fight, but now Bravo 1's coming in. Putting shots out at Lurch here. That tree is saving his butt. He's trying to pop some smoke. I honestly can't believe that this round is going to be stalled for time like this. We do, again, Delta for Op4 that had first contact is now going to have contact first with the FSB itself. And ironically enough, Blue 4 Delta's now moved all the way back here. So the Deltas are going to have their second engagement of the night. As the rest of the force is kind of... I love how they're doing a smoke charge down the hill. It's Pierce, though. That always happens. About to say, I really hope that wasn't Company HQ that just immediately got sniped. Rifle grenades going off. No, those are thrown grenades. Ooh, Willie Pete's. We already saw, though, with FNF, for whatever reason, the Willie Pete damage isn't really working with their mods, but normally that would have killed those Op4 guys outright. Now, I wonder if we're going to see Swede come around and be a single unit to stop the fighting. Because we're seeing that already with another Blue 4 element over here, Puma. He's getting some good kills, but now the rest of the force is coming around and they're going to start enveloping this area. Fortunately, Puma gets stopped by Patriot, and that's going to be his second kill. Let's see if Lolo can get in. He's throwing grenades all around. But if we have a few Op4 guys getting the line here, that's all he needs. However, he gets picked off as he runs in, because Swede found an angle on him. That'll be his second kill. And funny enough, I think that Op4 guy's also shooting at his body, thinking that he was Blue 4, because this guy has been staying down. So a little bit of a miss PID by Depso there. He gets spotted, immediately takes fire from the rear, but he's quick to fold around. Now you got the main force finally beginning their part of the attack. Delta's been mostly taken out. They're down to half strength. Delta also took a few more casualties. They're down to 3, but at least they're reinforced by other elements from Blue 4 Alpha here as well. Helicopter doing its best. I'm curious though, have they gotten anything? No. It's just been minor harassment. Wow, some noob tubes coming out as soon as Op4 charges in. That's pretty brutal. Huel coming in, literally throwing grenades right on top of people. I think that dunked off of Eric's helmet. Follow-up grenades coming in. Eric crawling away. We have the final 4-man team trying to come along the rear to reinforce the group, but so far, Op4 haven't really been able to get anyone inside the wire, and that has been Blue 4's saving grace. But you can just see that Blue 4 themselves are pretty much down to half strength for their garrison. And the helicopter, I think, is opting to land here to join the fighting. From on the ground, or are they picking up the VIP? They're picking up the VIP! And they're gonna make them airborne! Theoretically, that helicopter could now hover into the air infinitely. Huh. Huh. So that happened. For now getting in the wire, Blue 4 losing control of the one thing that needs to be deaded, so now it's up to the terminal. You still hear VC getting picked off here and there. Now it's just a matter of who can hold out. Because VC are in the wire, and now it's going to be a CQC shoot fest. Charlotte's going to get found while medicing. Tries to follow up, but Vagrant's able to get the kill. We still see some Op4 getting picked off, but Fury's come out with his grease gun. And he is getting taken down. Blue 4 just at every angle outside of the base are now dead. It's just up to this little garrison here holding the northern side of the final terminal. Op4, meanwhile, taking the outer defensive lines and moving around. Wow, some great pickoff shots on Professional Noob there. One VC ran up, but he was immediately mag dumped by Grav. He's trying to wave his hand to let him in, but Grav isn't going to be doing that anytime soon. Some shots with a K50 by Company HQ. I think that was Pierce making those shots. He gets the kill. I think it was actually a Type 56. My bad. Blue 4 down to 5. Op 4, meanwhile, have 6 people coming to the south. 8 people to the west and 1 to the north. And I think 1 just got picked off by a marksman shot. I heard a scream and I only see 4 symbols now. Oh, boy. How bad, Charlotte? I think you were on Blue 4, right? Give us some inside scoop. Hey, sit in a 1 by 1 kilometer box and die. I mean, that's just defense in general, though. Op 4 is now red on redding because their groups all got separated and everyone's freaking out. And here comes Banks with a rifle grenade. Taking out Op 4 command. Damn, Pierce can't catch a break even when it's from his own forces. This is allowing Blue 4 to upset. They're down to 3 dudes. Can they make it work? Gotta remember that's the terminal that technically Op 4 is after, but I guess everyone in Op 4 wants kills instead.
You're very lucky I had nothing in my ammunition, otherwise I would have pulled the trigger and missed you. Oh, who's that there?
Seismo's stolen a PKM. Can we spook him with a bear? No, but in an hour you can spook me with a bear on DayZ.
Wow.
How did... You hear him complaining because he got caught in a climb animation. Professional noob gets blown up. Double tap, double tap, double tap. Double tap him with his own gun. Be disrespectful. Oh, there's the hack. There it is. With his own gun. I love it. That's the type of disrespect in PvP I love to see. All right. Can Grav channel his inner Adriano and take out a dozen VC and stop the hack of the terminal within a minute? Find out on Friday Night Fights. This is the part where I start singing the Jeopardy theme. Wow. Huh. I wasn't expecting the building to come down, but, you know, that was a pretty good caster curse there, Chief. All right. We'll be back in about an hour or so, half an hour to an hour. I am going to eat my dinner. So, thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers. DJ, can you shoot me a message on Discord? I want to talk to you about that AO. Just asking if I can borrow it. And I also want to see those hyperlinks you used, because I made an FSB Marianne a few years ago, and I just want to swap notes. But otherwise, cheers, guys. Have a good one, and go operate operationally.